Well, thanks, everybody. I'm glad to be here. And I've been a fan of Amazon Web Services for a long time. I remember when I was a CTO at a little company and, fighting with the engineers to get them to try Amazon Web Services. And then, over the years, the cloud's not so scary anymore. So now it's just become sort of the fabric of what we do. It's how we do development. And engineers just kind of expect that they can spin up servers and have all the processing power that they want. And that's what we do at Spotify. So one of the most important things about Spotify is that we deliver music very quickly, that we don't make you wait. In fact, I hope everybody here has Spotify. If you don't, you should sign up right now with your computers. But you can do that while I'm speaking. But in order to get that kind of speed, we have to have sort of an ingenious architecture. And a lot of what we heard from Mark previously, I love that slide with that ingestion process and everything. That looks a lot like what we do. So I'm going to talk about Spotify, how we solve this problem of delivering music very quickly, and I'm also going to talk about how Amazon Web Services is integrated into that solution. So first of all, in case you didn't know, Spotify is an online music service. We've got more than 15 million tracks. We add thousands of tracks every day. And we use this very unique technology, which I'll explain in a little bit. We have this freemium model. I love the freemium model. So Spotify is free. You can sign up and just start listening to music. We were the guys who really pioneered that model. And we're very big in Europe. And we've just launched in the US. And we're getting rapidly very big in the US. And we have... It's actually the subscription part. If you want to get rid of the ads, if you want to be able to take your music with you on your mobile phone, if you want to be able to cache it offline, it's just a very inexpensive monthly $10 a month subscription. And so, it really works out. It's a good deal for the consumer, and it's a good deal for the content providers because it promotes the right kind of behavior from the user, paying for something. And it actually leads to a reduction in piracy. So we're very proud of that. So out of Europe, we've seen, where Spotify's been around the longest, we've seen a real reduction in kind of negative behavior and a real increase in even downloads and purchasing. So a little more notes about Spotify. We were founded by two great guys, Daniel and Martin. They're very funny guys. They got great sense of humor. And you might have seen Daniel up on stage with Mark Zuckerberg at F8. He had a great, it was a great event. We're in 8 countries, most recently in the USA, but we've been in Europe for a few years now. And, as I said, we've got over 15 million tracks. We've got over 10 million registered users. We've got over 2 million paying users. So what we have is a model that works. It's not a risk. People are willing to actually pay for it. And as far as the freemium model goes, people get a chance to really listen to the music and discover how wonderful it is. So I'm going way over 60 seconds. So obviously I'm not using the Spotify architecture to give this speech. But the goal here is to just make all the world's music instantly available to everyone, everywhere. And that's a pretty tough goal. Right now we have more than 400 employees. We're growing very rapidly. But, the whole reason that we use the Amazon cloud is because you can never buy enough hardware. You can never plan or anticipate for what's going to happen. In fact, I think it's really great to be able to take advantage of the Amazon services because it allows us to really allows our employees to get high productivity. They don't have to sit around and wait for the hardware to be ordered, for the disk to be spun up. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But everybody wants to know what the name Spotify means. So I think we came up with this after the fact. It means spot and identity. But the truth is that what it really means is access to music instantly. I think that's what I think it means. And by the way, we have over 100 engineers. I have an engineering team in New York that we've just started. When I joined the New York office back in February, it was just me and a couple guys. Now we have like, we're running out of space. We're starting to look for more room, more office space. So it's really exciting to grow so quickly. So this is the Spotify screen, and I apologize, it's a little squished. It looks really good on this monitor down here. It's a little squished up there. So if you haven't seen Spotify, it's this very slick UI, and it has a lot of features packed into it, but it's very easy to use. And I just want to highlight a couple of features. One thing is the metadata search. So we allow you to search by artist, title, track. We have Lucene search engine that we're using in the background. And we want that. We want to be like the media search engine for music. So when you type in some text, we instantly come back with the results. And that's sort of what we call the type A personality experience. You know what you want. You want that Lady Gaga song. You're going to type in Lady Gaga, and it's going to show up. We also have a laid-back experience. We have a radio that's part of Spotify. So let's say you don't know what you want. Right now you pick an era. I think there's different, or you pick different genres. And, you can just kind of pick country and western, or you can pick heavy metal, whatever gets you excited. And then you can discover new music that way. In fact, in New York, that's one of the projects we're working on, is improving that radio and continuing to invest in it. And we also have the ability to sync to your device. Actually, I think we're the best solution to sync wirelessly to Android. We sync to iPhones. We sync to iPods. So I think it's pretty cool. We're sort of if you're like me, a total geek, you collect a lot of these devices. It's nice to have one product that syncs to all of them. And then we also have offline mode. So if you get the premium subscription, even if you're going through a tunnel or have really crappy internet service like I have in New Jersey, you can still listen to your music in offline mode. So that's pretty cool. And it takes all the burden out of it. It just makes it very seamless for the user. They don't have to worry about downloading. They don't have to worry about what they bought or didn't buy. And then the biggest thing right now is social for Spotify. We've always believed that music is social. I think people always know that. I remember when I was in college and I liked this girl, and I sent her some music, and I mailed it, and the disc got all warped in the mail, so I think that was the end of that relationship. So, this is a lot better. This is Andrew Mager, who's our community manager, and if I wanted to send him some music, I could just drag and drop on his little picture there, and the music would appear. I can also kind of stalk him, see what he's listening to, what his playlists are, his top artists. That's pretty cool. So I don't have to use an algorithm to discover music with social. I can actually just follow what Andrew's doing, and he's a pretty cool guy. We also have, we're now integrated with Facebook. And, if you've watched F8, you see that we're part of Facebook Music. So I really like this as well. So the little circle there is my boss, Oscar. He's listening to a love song. And then one of our engineers, that's the ticker, by the way. That's called the ticker. That's what somebody's doing right now. And if I click on that, I can listen to the same song that Oscar's listening to. What could be better than that? I'm in tune with my boss, That's really good. And then over there is one of our engineers, Keel, and he's in the feed. So this is what he's been listening to. And he's also listening to a love song. So now I really know Oscar and Keel a lot better. They're those softies like me. They love those love songs. All right, and then finally the music itself. So this is where things get difficult. Now we actually have to play some music. It's been a lot of fun so far, but now the hard work comes in. So, depending on your device, we have to have multiple bit rates. We have OGG Vorbis format in different bit rates. So if you're on a cell phone, you're going to use a different bit rate than if you're on a desktop. And so we have to make sure that we play that music back at the quality level that your device can handle or that you're paying for. So let's talk a little bit about how Amazon Web Services kind of helps us play the music back properly. So we first started experimenting with AWS in 2009, just trying all kinds of different things. Our engineers are very fun bunch of guys, and they love to explore. So they tried different things, and we came up with 3 ways to use Amazon. So the first way is the elastic map reduce. We have a lot of data. We have a lot of log files. We have a lot of information. We need to process it, but we don't have to process it every day. We don't have to process it every hour. And a lot of times, we get some brilliant idea, and we want to check it out. So elastic map reduce for content analysis is really powerful. I'm going to go into some detail about CloudFront, but it's pretty cool. And it's gotten, it continues to improve, and we're using it for the delivery of our client app. We're a little different than the other music services. You actually install an application, so that in itself is some content that we have to deliver. And then we have the ability with popular tracks to also use CloudFront. And one of the things that really saved us a lot of energy and time and headaches was just S3, just good old S3 the way that it is. These days it's sort of like, it's not at the top of the list, but yet it's one of the most, I think, epic things that Amazon Web Services provides. So let's talk about, why do things have to be so fast? Why can't we just deliver music like everybody else does? Well, the first thing is that we don't want the customer to lose out on that local feel. If you use Spotify, if you've tried it, if you're testing it out right now, you won't be able to tell the difference between a local MP3 file playback and something that you're streaming from Spotify on average. If you pick something really obscure, then it takes us a little longer to dig it out of storage, which happens to be an S3. But if you pick something that's popular, something that you've listened to before, we're very snappy. And users are very impatient. There's a lot of research from Google. There's a lot of research in the field of user interface design that shows that people just don't want to wait. They can't articulate it. They don't say they don't want to wait. But I've seen a lot of research where people will simply browse away from pages that take too long to load, and they're going to see a music service that doesn't provide instant gratification as something that's less exciting as a music service that does just provide the music at a snap of the fingers. The other thing that's cool, what I like about working at Spotify, is we often try to do 2 or 3 impossible things before breakfast. And that really inspires the engineers. It's a challenge. It's a slap in the face. So maintaining this, it's actually 285 milliseconds mean time average playback experience, is really, really difficult. And it actually helps keep everybody on their toes. It makes for a really fun technical project. So this is the slide that's probably most exciting to me. This shows us before we were using S3, and I kind of want to describe the Spotify architecture. This is a living embodiment of digital media delivery system, and we've solved a number of problems here. So if you look over here on this side, we have our desktops. We also have our mobile users, our mobile clients, and we even have something called Lib Spotify. You could actually create your own version of Spotify with our library. You can just download it from our website. Your users do need to be premium users to access the music, but heck, go have fun. So if you're working from a desktop, we actually have a P2P network, a little hidden P2P network where the clients talk to each other. And then we have this encrypted channel. It's this blue arrow, and it's top secret. I can't tell you anything about it, but it's very low latency. And it's always on and always available, and it's the way that our clients contact our servers through this access point, this gateway in the center. And that also is very lightweight, stateless, written in C++, goes very fast. And then behind the gateway is all the fun stuff, all the different services we provide, searching for music, browsing our catalog, the radio service. I starred the ones that are being worked on in New York. So we have the radio service and the ad service. We have production storage, and we have our tracker, which is used by the P2P network to kind of figure out where the files are located. And then behind that, we have our metadata, our content, where it's stored, and we have our master storage. Now, originally, when we designed this system, Master storage was this very clever hack. It was this distributed hash table ring, and if you wanted to find a file, you just had to envision the hands of a clock. So there was some overlap going on there, and it was very sophisticated. But it was kind of a pain for the DevOps guys. If a server went down, things had to be rebooted. It was a lot to manage. And, there's a lot to do when you're running a company that's growing leaps and bounds. You don't want to sit there and reboot servers all night, and you have to worry about replication, single points of failure, all kinds of problems. So here's how we solved it. We put that cloud in there. So basically, we moved master storage to S3. And S3, out of the box, very unpretentiously provides all the things that we needed, that we were lacking, and it put hours back in the days of the ops people. So it provides the replication. It eliminates the need for geographically diverse data centers because S3 does all that already. So basically the content comes in, we move it into master storage in S3, and then we send it to production storage, and then from there it goes out through the AP to the P2P network, goes out to the clients, to the client-side cache, so that when you go to play music, every time you go to play music, the origin of that music is in the Amazon cloud. So I think that's pretty cool. So let's just go through that process of clicking play, because here's an interesting place where we can also use Amazon Web Services. When you click play, we play this game. It's called Where's the Music? Is the music in your client-side cache? Let's look there. If it's not there, let's look in the P2P network. Maybe one of your neighbors has it. Well, if it's not there, let's look in production storage. Okay, if it's not there, it must be something really obscure that nobody's listening to very often, like some of the bands I like. It must be in S3. So that's how it typically works. We go through, I've simplified it a little bit. Actually, I simplified it a lot, so the engineers at Spotify will yell at me. But it basically, we go through all these different caches looking for the music. And what happens is, as music grows in popularity, it moves up. So it moves up from S3 to production storage, to the P2P neighborhood, to your own client-side cache. So it's a pretty cool thing, and that's how we get to that 285 millisecond mean time average playback. Now, what is really interesting is we found that we could set up CloudFront so that if there's something really popular, some artist is coming out with something that we know is going to be a hit, what we can do is we can put it in CloudFront. And when you click play, if you don't already have that, because, you're like me, the last person on the block to hear of, what the hits are, and it's not in your P2P neighborhood because maybe, you might even be on a mobile client which currently doesn't use P2P, then we would just get it from the CloudFront URL. So again, keeping things fast and snappy, and cutting through a lot of extra steps. So another story to tell you about CloudFront. I was telling you about how we can use CloudFront to deliver our clients. So this is a true story. There's this thing called Rage Comics. You guys should all use it to draw comics. It's really cool. I didn't draw those figures. But basically, our head of operations, Emil, had a problem. Our CTO, Oscar, wanted him to upgrade all our clients in a 24-hour period. It was kind of, a very exciting project. And at Spotify, we moved quickly. We don't want to wait. We didn't want to wait to order all the hardware and everything that we needed. So, we didn't have the servers. What are we going to do? And Emil was inspired, by our motto, harder, faster, stronger, harder, better, faster, stronger, which is the Daft Punk song. We inspire ourselves with music. And he said, I know what I'm going to do. He went and got Oscar's credit card, went to the Amazon website, ordered the CloudFront services, gave a heads up to our rep, just in case. And in a couple hours, we were ready to upgrade our entire installed base. And within 24 hours, we did that through CloudFront. So that was pretty cool. That was actually pretty amazing. It meant that everything's very competitive, and you want to stay ahead of the game. So this was really awesome that we were able to do that. So the final thing to chat about is how we're using Amazon Web Services as part of the fabric of our development. We are always developing new things. Our engineers are full of ideas. Our execs are full of ideas. And you have to try a lot of different things. You can't just be limited by the amount of hardware, by the amount of storage that you have. Especially in today when you are competing with some of the biggest companies in the world, you really have to just kind of follow where the data takes you. So one of the things that we do is we use a lot of elastic MapReduce for data aggregation. We do a lot of content analysis with EC2, and we use the Amazon APIs just to manage these projects. So we know what servers are up, what servers are down, who's using what server, those kinds of things. And we're even looking at the reduced redundancy to store files at lower bit rates. So there's always some cool new thing that we're thinking of doing, and Amazon is it's just a great laboratory. It's a great test bed. So, basically what you can see here is that Amazon Web Services is part of our architecture. It's not really used for our user-facing services, but rather it feeds our back-end, it feeds our clients. It's a part of our development process. It lets us just test big ideas, and we just have a lot of fun with it. And I talked to, in preparation for this talk, I talked to Emil. I said, what's the biggest value that you get out of Amazon Web Services? And he said that it's really reliable. I know that in the press, every time Amazon has an outage, there's a big hullabaloo, but we haven't been impacted by any of that. And, it's a very high-value solution. So he sees it as kind of a headache medicine. We just find it's always there, it's always on, it's always available. So we're really happy with it. And, I can't imagine running an engineering team without having access to Amazon Web Services. So thank you.